Avoidant people have a very detailed set of emotional rules. Their fear of being close to someone often hides a very deep wish for a real bond. But in the avoidant mind, not all people are seen as equal. There is a huge difference between how they treat someone they see as a casual choice versus someone they see as impossible to replace. These differences are usually hard for a regular person to notice. But when you truly grasp the inner workings of avoidant attachment, you begin to see the hidden clues and the shifts in how they act. You see the emotional mess that happens when an avoidant person starts to fall for someone in a way they never planned for. There is a deep psychological split that happens when they deal with a casual option compared to meeting someone who wakes up real feelings inside them. When an avoidant person sees a woman as just a choice, being emotionally cold is their normal way of living. They might seem like they have charm or even act flirty, but there is always a wall between what they show and what they actually feel. Their time together is often like a business deal. It is careful, managed, and distant. They keep talks very basic, stay away from being real or open, and push away any deep feelings. This coldness is not always meant to be mean. It is a shield used to protect themselves from getting too tangled up with someone else. They link being close with danger or a loss of who they are. So when a woman is just a choice, they stay in a calm state of mind. They enjoy having company and attention, but they are always half committed and half gone. They might keep her around, but they won't put her in their future plans. She does not touch the deep parts of their heart, so they stay safe behind their emotional wall. But when an avoidant person meets someone who brings out deep feelings, someone who feels like the right person, the whole situation flips in very confusing ways. Suddenly, the emotional wall they have used for so long starts to break. Feelings come up that they did not plan for and do not know how to handle. This new emotional power messes up their inner world. They might try to act like it isn't happening or even run away, but deep down they know something has changed. This woman has started something real, and real feels very scary to them. While they were once calm and in control, they now find themselves feeling worried and upset. They might not say their feelings out loud, but the difference is clear in how much they focus on the connection inside their own heads. They think about her more than they want to admit. They notice when she is gone much more. Their mood changes based on how things go with her. The bond forces them to feel again. While that might sound like a romance, it is actually very scary for someone who has built their life around being independent. Caring about someone is not a happy thing for them. It makes them feel shaky. Even in their fear, they cannot fully walk away like they usually do. They might still pull back, but this time it is not because they don't care. It is because they care too much. So while being cold is easy, when a woman is just an option, everything changes when they truly care. Their calm look starts to fall apart. They might seem more annoyed or inconsistent, but this isn't them saying no. It is proof that their walls are being tested by someone who got past the surface. To the rest of the world, they might still look distant, but inside they are fighting a quiet war between fear and wanting to be close. When a woman is just a choice, they act in a hot and cold way. They can be very charming one minute and then suddenly turn cold the next. This switching isn't about playing games, it is about staying in control. Avoidant people don't feel like they need to be steady with someone they don't see as a threat. Since they don't feel a risk of getting too close, they let themselves move between being there and being gone without feeling bad. They will ignore texts for a long time and then answer whenever they feel like it. This makes the other person feel unsure, but for the avoidant, it is a way to keep their space. This hot and cold act is also a test to see how much someone will put up with and how safe they are from having to be responsible for feelings. When the woman is just a choice, she doesn't scare them. They can leave without feeling like they lost anything. They might even pull away on purpose just to prove they are still the boss of the relationship. However, when an avoidant person starts to feel something deep and a woman feels like the one, something big happens. That same person, who was once hard to predict, starts trying to be more steady. It might not be perfect, but it is clear they are making an effort. They might still hide sometimes, but now there is a small difference in their act. They feel bad or worried about their own behavior. Their cold times get shorter and their warm times get stronger. They try to stay in touch in ways they didn't do before. They might send a text just to check in or follow through on a plan. That is because they are now afraid of losing her. They don't want to say they care, but they can't stand the thought of her leaving. So even though their instincts tell them to run, their heart pulls them back. This internal tug of war shows up as small changes in how steady they are. Their effort to stay around becomes more obvious. They try to fix the mess inside themselves to stay near her. This is when you see the cracks in their old ways. It isn't because they are ready to change everything, but because her being there is no longer just a choice. It matters deeply. Avoidant people need control to feel safe. They control their feelings and how much they give to others. When a woman is just a choice, they have all the power. They decide when to talk and how deep the bond goes. They are in charge, setting the speed while staying far away emotionally. This lets them keep their inner world safe and unchanged. There is no real fear because nothing is at stake. They don't feel like they have to make a real spot for her in their life. So the power is all on their side. If things get hard, they just walk away. There is no risk of being hurt or having their world changed. But the whole scene shifts when they see her as someone who could really matter. This is the point where their need to be in charge fights with their feelings. Suddenly, the power they once liked feels like a heavy weight. They can't stop thinking about her. They become very aware of her mood and her presence. It's not just about control anymore. It is about the fear of losing her or not being good enough. Being open and vulnerable starts to happen, and for an avoidant person, that is the most dangerous feeling of all. This doesn't make them soft. Instead, it often makes them act out or stay away. They might pull back even harder because the feelings are too much to handle. When control starts to slip away, they don't know how to fix what they are feeling. Instead of moving toward the connection, they try to protect themselves by hiding. This actually makes them feel even more out of control. The emotional mess they always ran from is now inside them. They want to be close, but they are scared of being seen. They want love, but they are terrified of needing someone. When a woman becomes more than a choice, the avoidant person hits a crisis. They have to choose between keeping control and losing her, or giving up control and being exposed. This inner fight is the best sign that she is not just a passing person. She is someone who shook the very base of how they stay safe. When an avoidant person sees a woman as a choice, closeness is given out in very small amounts. Their version of being close is just about the surface level. They might have fun or talk about light things, but they keep a hidden line that keeps the other person out of their core. They avoid deep talks by changing the topic or making jokes. This lets them feel a little bit connected without ever being truly known. But when they start to feel she is the one, the wall they built starts to get weak. Sometimes they don't even know it is happening. What used to be a guarded way of acting slowly turns into being open. They might start to share their own story, their past hurts, or their fears. These things often come out by mistake when they are tired or relaxed, but the fact that it happens at all is important. For an avoidant, being open is not a natural thing. It happens when a true bond starts to grow. They start to have a subconscious bond. It is not just about the time they spend together, but a deeper feeling that makes them feel safe, yet exposed at the same time. This bond shows up in small ways. They remember tiny details she says, and replay their talks in their head. They start to feel her emotions as if they were their own. It is not something they talk about, but it is something they feel, and it ruins the distance they usually count on. They might even get upset by things that wouldn't normally bother them, like a late reply or a change in tone. These things wouldn't matter with just an option, but now everything feels heavy and important. They don't look for this kind of closeness on purpose. In fact, it scares them. But when it happens, it shows their heart has picked someone. They might still run or act confused, but the deep feelings don't go away. She is no longer just someone for the moment. She is someone who touches the hidden parts of them. When a woman is just a choice, talking is treated like it doesn't matter. Texts go without an answer for days. Calls are missed and talks are short. There is no rush and no heavy feeling. They don't think about what to say because they aren't truly invested. If she leaves, they might not even care. This distance lets them stay in a safe spot where they can't be hurt. But everything changes when the woman becomes more than an option. Suddenly, every talk matters. Every word they send is thought about many times. Every silence from her makes them feel panic. This is the avoidant mind in overdrive. They think too much about everything while pretending they don't care at all. They might look at a message for 10 minutes and not know what to say. They write and delete their answers. They might be afraid to text first because they don't want to look weak, even though they really want to talk. Silence, which used to be their best friend, now hurts them. They wonder if they did something wrong or if she is bored. These thoughts are signs that their heart is breaking through their walls. Behind the scenes, their mind is racing. They look at every emoji and every dot. This is the price they pay for finally caring. In the end, when a woman is just a choice, the relationship is about their ego. They make choices based on what makes them feel safe and independent. They want to be wanted, but they don't want to have to do the work of being close. But when she is the one, the ego starts to lose its power. This is a very deep struggle. They don't want to feel these things, but they can't stop them. Their heart has been turned on in a way that breaks all their old rules. This often leads to them acting out or pushing her away, not because they don't like her, but because they are overwhelmed. Their ego is at war with their heart. They feel things they spent years running from, like needing someone else. This makes them feel lost. And yet, they cannot walk away easily. She has become the mirror that shows them their own hurts and the love they never thought they could have. This fight is not just about feelings, it is about who they are. It forces them to look at the parts of themselves they hid and challenges them to grow. So while the ego keeps them far away from just a choice, the soul pulls them into the deep and scary truth when she is the one. This is the moment they realize something real has happened, that truth is both beautiful and very, very scary. The next major change is the shift from self-reliance to shared support. Usually, avoidant people believe they must solve every problem alone. When they see a woman as just an option, they never ask for her help and they don't offer much of theirs. But with the one, they slowly start to lean on her. This might look like a small comment about a bad day at work or a moment where they let her comfort them. Each time they do this, they are breaking a lifelong rule. They are testing the water to see if she will judge them or try to control them. If she remains steady and kind, the avoidant person feels a strange mix of relief and fear. They are relieved because they aren't alone, but they are scared because they now have something very valuable to lose. As this bond grows, the avoidant person begins to change how they view the future. For years, their future was a solo mission. When a woman is just a choice, she is a guest in their life who can be asked to leave at any time. But when she is the one, they start to imagine her in their long-term plans. They might not talk about marriage or kids right away, but they start using the word we instead of I. They might plan a trip 6 months away or buy something for their home that they know she likes. These are huge steps. For an avoidant, planning for the future with someone else is an act of extreme bravery. It means they are giving up their exit strategy, which has always been their ultimate safety net. Finally, the most telling sign of this next part is the vulnerability hangover. After a night of deep connection or a very honest talk, an avoidant person often feels an intense need to disappear the next day. This is their system trying to reset after being too open. When a woman is just an option, they might disappear forever after a moment like this. But when she is the one, they come back. They might pull away for a day to feel safe again, but they return to the connection. This cycle of reaching out, getting scared, pulling back, and returning is how they slowly build a new way of loving. It is a slow, messy process of teaching their brain that being known is not the same as being captured. When a woman is just a choice, the avoidant person is like a ghost. They are there one day and gone the next because they don't feel they owe anyone anything. But when she is the one, they begin to feel a sense of accountability. This is very heavy for them. They start to realize that their silence or their pulling away actually hurts the other person. For the first time, they care more about the partner's pain than their own need to hide. They might try to explain why they are pulling away instead of just vanishing. They might say, "I need some space, but I will be back." This small sentence is a massive victory over their avoidant nature because it provides a bridge instead of a dead end. In this next part, the avoidant person also begins to face their core wounds. Usually, they believe that if people see their true self, they will be rejected or suffocated. When a woman is just an option, they never show that true self, so the wound stays hidden. But with the one, they start to reveal their flaws. They might show their messy side, their failures, or their deep insecurities. They are essentially saying, "Here is the part of me I hate. Are you still going to stay?" If the partner responds with love instead of judgment, it creates a corrective emotional experience. This is how the avoidant person actually begins to heal. They learn that being seen doesn't lead to being hurt. Another shift happens in how they handle conflict. With a casual option, an avoidant person will just walk away from an argument. They think, "This isn't worth the stress." But when it's the one, they stay in the room. They might shut down or get quiet, but they don't leave the house. They stay because the risk of losing the relationship is now greater than the discomfort of the fight. They are learning to co-regulate, which means finding a way to get calm together rather than running away to get calm alone. The final piece of this growth is the slow surrender of their independence. They have spent their whole life thinking that needing someone is a weakness. When she is the one, they start to see that needing her is actually a strength. They start to let her in on big life decisions like career moves or health issues. They stop keeping secrets about their daily life. The relationship stops being a secret project and starts becoming a shared life. It is a slow, often painful walk from a world of me into a world of us. They still feel the fear, but they choose the person over the fear. This is where the avoidant person finally stops being a runner and starts becoming a partner. As the relationship moves forward with someone they see as the one, the avoidant person enters the stage of long-term integration. This is where the internal war starts to quiet down and a new way of living begins. For the first time, the avoidant person starts to replace their exit strategies with staying strategies. When a woman is just a choice, the avoidant person always has one foot out the door. They keep their finances, their social circles, and their deep thoughts completely separate. But as they accept someone as the one, these separate worlds start to merge. They begin to introduce her to the people who matter most to them, like family or lifelong friends. This is a huge step because it makes the relationship real to the outside world. They can no longer pretend they are single or unattached. By bringing her into their private circle, they are telling their community and themselves that this person is a permanent part of their life. Another major shift occurs in how they handle their need for deactivation. In the past, when things got too close, they would simply turn off their feelings and become cold. When a woman is just an option, they might stay in this cold state forever. However, with the one, they start to notice when they are deactivating. They might say, "I feel myself pulling away, but I want to stay close." This is called self-awareness. Instead of just reacting to their fear, they start to observe it. They learn that the feeling of suffocation is just an old memory from their past, not a reality of their present relationship. They start to trust that their partner will give them space without them having to fight for it or run away to get it. The avoidant person also begins to change how they view the spark. Usually, they are addicted to the early stages of a relationship where things are exciting but not deep. When a woman is just an option, they leave as soon as the excitement fades and the real work begins. But with the one, they start to value secure boredom. They realize that a quiet Tuesday night on the couch is actually a form of safety, not a trap. They stop looking for reasons to leave and start looking for reasons to stay. They begin to find comfort in the routine of a shared life. Finally, the avoidant person reaches a point of emotional surrender. This doesn't mean they give up their identity. It means they stop fighting the love they feel. They accept that they are a better person when they are with this woman. They acknowledge that while they can survive alone, they don't want to. This shift from "I can't need you" to "I choose to need you" is the ultimate sign of healing. The fear of being hurt is still there, but it is no longer the loudest voice in their head. The love they have for the one becomes the new foundation of their life, replacing the old foundation of fear and isolation. As the avoidant person fully enters into a life with the one, they reach the stage of true emotional security. This is the final and most profound shift. It is here that they stop being the person who avoids and start being the person who stays. The long-term habits that used to protect them now feel unnecessary because the bond they have built is strong enough to hold their fears. They begin to experience a change in their physical response to closeness. In the past, being too close to someone for too long might have made them feel physically tense, tired, or even sick. When a woman was just an option, they would leave the room to find relief from that pressure. But with the one, their nervous system begins to co-regulate. Instead of feeling drained by her presence, they start to feel calmed by it. Her touch, or even just her being in the same house, starts to lower their heart rate rather than raising it. This is a sign that their body has finally accepted that this person is safe. They have moved from a state of threat to a state of rest. In this final part, the avoidant person also masters the art of returning. For someone with this attachment style, the goal is not to never feel fear again. That is nearly impossible. The goal is to shorten the time it takes to come back after a moment of fear. With a casual option, they might stay gone for weeks or months. With the one, they learn to return in hours or even minutes. They might say, "I got overwhelmed for a moment, but I'm here now." They no longer let the distance grow until the relationship dies. They have learned that the bridge between them and their partner is something they must help maintain. The avoidant person also starts to find joy in the small things. Usually, they are so focused on protecting their space that they miss the beauty of a shared life. When a woman is just a choice, they view shared chores or quiet evenings as a loss of their freedom. But with the one, they see these moments as the glue of the relationship. They start to appreciate the morning coffee together, the inside jokes, and the silent understanding that comes with years of being known. They realize that they haven't lost their identity. They have found a partner who honors it. Finally, they reach a place of legacy. They stop thinking about just today and start thinking about the story they are writing with this person. They become protective of the relationship in a healthy way. They prioritize the connection because they understand its value. The man who once lived behind a wall is now the man who stands at the gate, making sure the relationship is safe, healthy, and growing. He has learned that true strength is not being alone. It is being brave enough to let someone in and keep them there. The one has done more than just win his heart. She has helped him find a new way to exist in the world.